Hey guys, what is going on? So I have a new setup here as I am in a new house. I moved and I understand there's an echo in here that does not sound ideal, but I'm working with what I got. I have been here for a couple of weeks and I haven't filmed a video and I just feel like I should start putting content out again. And we'll figure out the whole sound thing. If you guys have any ideas with that, or if you have experience with like reducing the echo in a room, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, so I want to make this video because I feel like I'm at a very important time with my training, where I'm really just going to be, I think, progressing things at a faster rate than I have been starting pretty soon here. So far this year, I've been working with my coach, Paris Butler, also known as Ball and Omni Man, and we've really brought a lot of my lifts pretty close to or around, some of my best numbers that I've hit in the past. We're not quite there on some of my lifts, and then other lifts I may be stronger than I've been, years ago. But we're kind of just in that general range where if I look at my physique and my numbers now versus like a couple years ago, before I started not training body parts, they're pretty comparable. Again, I don't think I'm like quite there with some of my body parts and some of my lifts, but other lifts, maybe a little bit better. So I think I'm approaching that level of being close to my best ever. And I think the next step here, as opposed to trying to like match my best physique ever while I'm cutting, which is what I have been doing, it's time to get into a bulk and it's time to actually add calories and be strategic with it and not dirty bulk and actually be balanced with my diet and just have a year of consistent bulking, consistent progress, pushing new levels that I've never seen before and just really get the most out of my physique. I feel like over the past couple of years, again, some areas are a little bit better, some areas are definitely worse. But I really haven't gained muscle overall. And so this bulk is really about, hey, what can I do? Like, where can I take it? How much muscle have I actually gained over the past several years? Has it been a very gradual muscle growth, or like have I just, been waiting to bring everything back and be dialed in for once? And so that's really where I think I'm going to be heading here. So I'm going on vacation a week from today. So this is kind of like my last Monday of like the sessions that I've been getting. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to do everything I can to find a good gym there, um, and get quality training sessions in. But when I come back, I have no more trips scheduled. I've traveled to multiple, like I think three different countries in the past year. I've gone to multiple different states. I've just been kind of all over the place in terms of, you know, traveling, as well as just my consistency hasn't been amazing. But I think over 2025, I've been a lot more consistent, even despite all of this stuff. And my life's been pretty hectic. But once I get back from this trip, I think things are just going to finally settle down. I'm going to have some time to really just be dialed in. And I'm going to be really serious with my diet, my training, and just take things to a whole other level. So, um, yeah, in terms of like numbers that I've been hitting recently, again, they're kind of in some areas they're kind of knocking on the door of like where I've been in the past. Other areas maybe not quite as much. Other areas potentially the best lifts I've ever done. And so it's really just time to just send it and to get everything to be the best it's ever been. Just bring everything together. And I think that time is kind of finally here. So I think this month of August, the end of August, is going to be the last month that I'm not just sending it. So in terms of like numbers that I've been hitting recently, so I just switched gyms, so I changed Smith machines. So a lot of my lifts are down like 10, 15 pounds because the new Smith machines are like significantly harder. But I was doing like 235 for multiple sets and reps with the you know Smith machine over at press, seated. Now historically I've been better at standing, but I don't know. I haven't been doing it, but I think that's pretty comparable and pretty close to some of my best numbers. I'm also like a lot lighter than when I've hit some of my best lifts ever. So you have to take that into account as well. Especially with like standing OHP, a lot of times just being heavier makes it a little bit more stable. And so that's something to factor in. My dips are approaching like if I were to do a one rep max, it's probably in the high 300s range, like maybe somewhere between 380, 390, somewhere in that range. Which most people would probably say dips and bench press are not that comparable. Now, I historically have not been that great at dips. I've been a little bit better at bench press. That being said, I haven't been benching, so maybe it's the other way around now. But I would say, my bench is probably roughly between 350 and 400 right now if I were to like do it a little bit. So that's not exactly my best lifts ever. Like I've benched 415, overhead press 275, but I think those numbers are going to be like crushed in my next bulk. Like I think everything's going to come together. Shoulders, triceps. My triceps are far and away bigger and stronger than they were back when I was benching like 400. So I think triceps coming up, I'm really emphasizing like being consistent with delts, and that's my easiest muscle to grow for the upper body. So I think my delts are going to be a whole nother level. Triceps are a whole nother level right now, and I'm going to continue to train those. Chest, I just feel like chest is like I figured out so many things about chest training over the years just through trial and error. And it used to be like a body part that I struggled to grow, and now I find the chest is like it's not easy to grow, but it's predictable. Like I know, like if I'm doing what I need to do with chest, it's going to grow. And so I think my pressing muscles are ready to take to the next level. My legs and my back are still not where they used to be, but man, when I work with Paris, like this is my second time working with Paris because I had like a year where I worked with him. Now I'm working with him again, and back growth is just like very steady, predictable. Like I usually struggle to grow my back, and it's kind of like hard for me to gauge. We just have it down to a science at this point. Like I just feel like that's one of his best areas in terms of progressing in one of his best body parts and everything like that. So growing my back has been very consistent, and I'm ready to take my back to a whole nother level. And then I think that in tune will help me with like my hinges because I grow like my hamstrings and glutes just grow really easily, but I feel like my main driver of growing them is like, hinging, which is like RDLs. And if my back is not up to par, I can't bring my glutes and my hamstrings up as well as I should be. So I've really just kind of been hammering the back, want to get the upper back and the lower back on the same levels, my glutes and hamstrings, where I can really just push those really hard. And then quads, they grow decently well. They're not where they've been. I've had a little bit of knee issues, so we're kind of working through some of that. I am changing to a leg press instead of a hack squat. That's mostly just because I don't have access to a hack squat at my new gym, but I also just want to give leg press a try. Historically, leg press has worked really, really well for me in terms of growing quads, so I think I'll be totally fine there. But yeah, I mean, as far as like all the numbers that I think I'm capable of hitting, I'm not even close with my lower body. And I just know that I am not going to be struggling with that. Like, I feel like I have so much potential with the lower body. And I just need to push calories, bring the back up, bring that stability up, get everything healthy. And I think my legs and my posterior chain in particular are just going to absolutely blow up. So I'm really excited for that. Excited for the back. I think my back's just going to be on a whole nother level from what I've seen before. And then pressing, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a slow grind. Like those are muscles that I've definitely trained really hard in the past. So I wasn't like leaving easy gains on the table with pressing, but I do think I've made some progress there. So really excited for all that to come together. Again, I'm going to be starting my bulk, probably some point in September. I don't know if I'm just going to get back from my trip and like immediately bulk or if I'm going to maybe maintain a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'll probably be bulking either September or October. And then hopefully give that a year of really consistent, like slow, lean bulk, being really dialed in with my diet, my training, and just think it's going to be another level. And I'm really excited. So I really want to be putting out like content and just talking about what I'm going through and just, training and everything like that. Um, I'm really excited to hit numbers I've never hit before. It's been so long. I've been so inconsistent, so I've worked really hard to get back to where I am. And I think once I push it to another level, it's going to be so rewarding. And I really want to share a lot of stuff that I've learned over these past few years as my knowledge has gone up, even if my action was not matching it. But now I want everything to match, and I just want everything to, you know, be a whole nother level. So very excited to share that with you guys. Hopefully you'll stick along for that. And I would love to just talk about, training and diet and all that stuff. And really excited for that. So just want to give that update. Big things are coming.